Simon and Judy's Smallholding Update May 2015. May bank holiday, and we've got some fairly pleasant weather. It's nice and warm. But May, I love May. It's an exciting month to me, growing. Everything's bursting into life. Not just the produce, but also the weeds. As you can see, this is part of the the part of the field that we've ploughed. The second polytunnel will be going in here, maybe towards autumn. We're going to hedge along this edge of the field to give us a bit of a windbreak, and then use the other to plant some potatoes in. But right at the moment, the chickens are using it as a giant dust bath, so at least we're getting some use of it. The land hasn't been ploughed or dug, I'd imagine, here for quite some time. So we ploughed it a couple of days ago, and now we're just leaving it to dry and dust, and the Plymouth Rocks are having a go with a new chicken, the Welsh Summer. For some reason, pecking order again. That's one new chicken, that's a Welsh Summer. Lovely bird. We call it Roadrunner because we can't catch it. So chickens are doing fine. We're just worming them at the moment with some worming pellets. Hopefully that'll see them increase their laying, because although the daylight hours are longer, they haven't been very productive over the last week with the egg laying. So I'll take you back through to the polytunnels to show you what we've got going there. Oh, and there's another new chicken. Sussex Buff, I think, or the Proclaimer. Quite a nice bird, actually. Friendly, doesn't run away from us like the Welsh Summer. We've been busy making some planters for, out of old pallets. Look quite smart, actually. I'm going to get those planted up later today. Although it's cloudy, believe it or not, it is quite warm. So, polytunnel. So, first bit of produce. What, the plant?
Yeah. Well, it's
well done. That's a globe artichoke. That's the first bit that we've really had. We've had some smaller items, but we're going to put it in water now.
Salty water. Make sure there aren't any insects in it. They'll just die and drop out if there are, and then we can eat it later.
Yeah, we'll be eating that later. Yep. So the fennel, considering it wasn't great last year, it's doing really well this year. I put the rest of the seeds in more hope than anything, and well, as you can see, there's quite a number of fennel coming up. Trying celery this year, and we're going to pop our melons in later. They're looking really healthy. We've been bringing those on in the sunroom in the house, but it's warm enough outside now to get them going in the greenhouse. And so everything's bursting into action. Carrots probably need a bit of pinching out. We've harvested some rhubarb. That was getting quite overgrown. Once again, the broccoli inside is probably bolting a bit, but we'll just cut it as tender stem. Broad beans are doing well. Look like there should be quite a few beans on there. Mange 2. Yeah, we're just getting our first purple mange 2 there. But I probably need to plant some more up because we haven't done that many, and don't seem to appear to be that many flowers on it at the moment. Of course, the horseradish absolutely loves it in the polytunnel. I'm just planting up beetroot, some cauliflower. I've had to move some of the cauliflower. I've tried it indoors and outdoors, basically because I tried it outdoors first off, but the slugs have had a right good chew on it, hence why the 3 that remain outside have got these bell jars on. The others have gone, as I say, back into the polytunnel. For some unknown reason, the slugs have seemed to have kept off the turnips. So we've got some of those. We're trying some celery outside here as well as indoors, and we've got beetroot, and we're going to do some succession planting. We weren't too clever with that last year, so this year I've just been planting up some parsnips that I've brought on in these compostable containers. These have been planted since April, beginning of April. The soil here, the earth's nice and warm now, but parsnips they're great once they're going, but the seed always takes a while to germinate. Now we grew these in the polytunnel last year, but bolted. There was more leaf than actual vegetable underground, so as I say, I've brought them on in these containers. Parsnip, again, you don't like to be, once the seed's in the ground, don't like to be moved, so this is a really great way of getting them started, and then just pop them into the ground like so in these containers, and just basically let nature do the rest. As you can see, the roots have taken really well, so I'm expecting some good things there. Next, here in this bed here, we've got some other parsnip seed. So again, succession planting. So these are a good 8 weeks on now. These parsnips, which are just beginning to germinate, have been in the ground for around 2 weeks. Underneath the cloche we have sprouts. Some of you may remember the trouble we had with the sprouts last year, absolutely covered in cabbage white caterpillars, just decimated the crop. I think off about a dozen plants we ended up with about a dozen sprouts. So it's disappointing. So I learnt the lesson, hopefully, and we're going to keep those covered and then perhaps build a cage as they get taller. Just into the greenhouse, you see the tomatoes are planted up. There's one cucumber there. I've got some of the cucumber in the polytunnel, and then we've got peppers, chilies, and just some annual seedlings being brought on. Strawberries looking good, plenty of flower. Again, didn't do very well this last year, so I've moved them into a bed where I won't move them from again. Hopefully I'll beat them. I'll beat the birds to the fruit this year. And of course the asparagus, which has taken its time coming up here, it would appear, looking around our friends. They're cropping their asparagus regularly, but this is only the second year, so we can't really take much off it. Some of them are really looking quite prolific on the amount of asparagus that are developing, and that's going to be mighty tasty. And then we go from that extreme to the extreme here, where there's a really rather thin, weak asparagus there. And again, I've put the bell jar on it to keep the cats off it, because they do like chasing across this bed, and I don't want to risk snapping the asparagus. It's a right pig to spot as well. Sometimes we've just got another one that we've seen just coming up out of the ground there. It just seems to have taken so long to get this far with it. I mean, whether or not it's where we live, that may have to be accounted for. Just got the tradesman's entrance around the back of the polytunnel and into the orchard, which is really looking much better than last year. The apple trees, which suffered from wind damage, as you can see the tops here, haven't recovered, but we've got some really good blossom on it this year, far better than last year, and remarkably it stayed on for quite a while, considering it just seems to have been rather windy over a number of weeks here. But again, one of the reasons why we chose this as the orchard is because we're protected all the way around by a fairly substantially high hedge, and what we've not done this year is we're leaving it to grow. Instead of chopping it and manicuring it, let it grow as tall as it can to give us that more protection. But again, we've got to try and keep some open to let the light in. So we've got some loganberries and red berries here, and the gooseberries are coming on. Again, this second year of planting. Weren't very successful last year. In fact, I don't think we had much at all. But there's a lot more fruit on it this year. Just at the back here, that's where we're hoping to put the hives. We're going to be keeping bees next year. We've just got to go on a training course to do it, but this seems like the ideal place. I don't like winter, it's well sheltered in here. Of course, what we need in this particular part of the allotment or small holding are pollinators. The William pear did really well. I mean, there was some huge amounts of blossom on it, and some fruits are just starting to form. How much we get, again, only time will tell. Cherry blossomed rather well, and we've also put some proper raspberry supports in this year. They were growing into the bush. I didn't do a good job on them, and you know, you do tend to learn from your mistakes in this, in what we're trying to achieve here. But just looking at it from last year, it's the produce is looking far healthier, stronger, and more of it. And finally, the pig field, the new pigs arrive on June the 10th. So the field is has been left, and it's well, they'll have a bit of grass to play in before they churn it all up. 4 Gloucester Old spots, all girls again. So again, we'll update in June to show you how they're settling in, how small they are. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.